Alex Cora, how we doing this afternoon?
Doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're okay. So you kind of came in. We were talking about momentum and the break. Did your team lose something because of the AllStar break? You were rolling so well, 10 in a row. Did you almost wish you could have kept playing there? Is there something to that?
No. There's from my end, there's nothing to do. It doesn't have to do with the All-Star break. It has a lot to do with the pitching we have faced. The pitching in Chicago was good. The last two guys we have faced here in Philadelphia, they're amazing. Wheeler and Sanchez. For Wheeler, for me, the best in the big leagues, and then Sanchez after yesterday, I was very impressed with the way he attacks hitters, the sinker, the changeup. It was a rough night yesterday offensively, but no, it doesn't have to do with the All-Star break.
Hey, Alex, there's 7 games left before the trade deadline, and ESPN's Jeff Passan is reporting that at this moment the Red Sox are not inclined to engage in any large-scale deadline moves. I just wondered, can you confirm that one way or the other, and just what are your thoughts if the Red Sox don't make a move at the trade deadline?
No, I can confirm the lineup for today. That's my job. So, I try to stay away from those conversations. I have learned over the years that, you can talk all you want about the trading deadline, and then when it happens, right? And our job is to win ball games, and we got another tough customer today on the mound. Do our best to win the game, reset in the off day, and then we get the Dodgers over the weekend.
So, but Alex, at the trade deadline, if you could have your pick of anything or everything that would be available on the market, regardless of what you would have to trade back in return, what would that something be for your team?
I mean, there's always room for improvement, position player-wise and pitching-wise. I think that at the end, pitching is the most important thing in this game. If you pitch consistently on a daily basis, you got a shot to win. You look at the Brewers, you look at the Rays, what they're doing, right, with their lineups and, their record. So, if I have to choose, always add to the pitching part of it, and offensively we can do our thing.
What's your reaction to the reports? Because just today we've gotten multiple reports. One says you guys are doing nothing. The other says you guys are getting a number 2 starter behind Crochet. How do you react to these rumors, speculation, and where do those come from?
Yeah, it comes from the green room in Bristol. I used to be there with some guys. I told you guys the story, right?
Yep.
Like sometimes they have their contacts and they're true about it. Others, they're making it up. So you take it at what it is, they're only rumors, and in an era that obviously social media rules the world, right? Everybody's going to have their take, and we'll see what happens in a week.
Red Sox manager Alex Cora joining us here on WEEI Afternoons. Alex, the last couple nights I've seen things that I don't see all that often, although I see them a lot with your baseball team this year. What's with the catcher's interference and all these weird ways to lose baseball games? The interference is, if you look around the league, they're way up, and there's it's happening because we're pushing our catchers, not only us as the Red Sox, but I think as an industry, everybody's pushing their catchers closer to the hitter to steal strikes. That's the reality of it, and we have paid the price. If you look at the one on Monday, I mean, he caught the ball and then the guy hit the mitt, was their intent to hit the baseball? I don't know. It's a check swing, so the rule is the rule. And then yesterday, Harper took off. Narvi got ahead of himself. The rule says that if you catch the ball in front of the plate, it's a balk, and it's also catcher's interference. I don't know with who he interferes, to be honest with you, because Marsh abandoned the batter's box, but that's the rule. And hopefully, in the offseason, MLB, they always do a good job checking certain plays during the season, and hopefully they can make adjustments.
I mean, Alex, the windup. I mean, was that something that you guys? I mean, should you have been in the windup at that? At that point, knowing that you guys could still home like that?
I mean, I don't know how many times Harper has tried to steal the plate, but as a pitcher, you have to make sure you slow him down. We're positioning off the back at third base because there's a lefty at the plate, so you have to make sure you stop him, and then you go through the windup. And Harper, probably after the first pitch, he noticed that he didn't pay attention to it, and he took off.
So, Alex, I know Richard Fitz struggled a little bit last night, but by and large, the starting pitching has not been bad coming out of the All-Star break as well, including Walker Buehler, who had arguably his best start of the season and apparently did some work during the All-Star break to try to get his mind and his body right. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, I mean, everybody have their break, and they do what they need to do to keep their arm in shape and obviously their body. He decided to go to Atlanta, I think it was, to a facility, and I think people are making a big deal that he went to a lab and he fixed it. I think he just worked on things that he's been working the last 3 weeks, especially with his arm angle, and he's getting to the point that he's feeling really good. One thing I noticed on Monday, the way he was moving on the mound was a lot better than 3 weeks ago. He's been better as of late, and hopefully he can gain momentum and be ready for Sunday against the Dodgers.
Alex, I feel like we've talked to you a lot off and on all year about strikeouts, 28 in the last 2 games in losses. And one player in particular I wanted to ask about was Roman Anthony. I think it's 8 in the last 9 at-bats, 12 out of 19 he's struck out. Has he hit a rough patch? Is this that adjustment to the adjustment phase for a young hitter? What do you see there?
I see Wheeler and Sanchez doing a great job against Roman. It's not like he's just swinging just to swing. He's actually taking some good swings and taking some tough pitches, but at the end he hasn't been able to finish at bats. So today, a little reset button for him. Try to give him today and tomorrow. If we have to use him late in game, we use him, but I think it's a good time for him to get a breather. He was a little bit banged up in Chicago too. He played sick the last one. He lost a few pounds. He's feeling better the last few, but obviously I think a reset button today for him. Hopefully 2 days off and be ready for Friday.
Alex, before yesterday's game, you were asked if you were intrigued by Kyle Schwarber's free agency and how that was going. You said very, very intrigued. Can you expand on that? What is it about Kyle Schwarber that would interest you?
I love the guy. I love the player. He's done an amazing job, and he's found a home here, to be honest with you, and he's doing an outstanding job. I care about him. I care about JT. I care about my ex-players. That's the reason I say very, very intrigued.
So, Alex, as far as Alex Bregman, obviously great to have him back, but does the fact that he sometimes looks like he's running a little gingerly or just, trying to take care of himself and not get re-injured, does that ever give you pause or cause anxiety for you in the dugout?
No, because it's something we talk, there's certain rules with Alex, and when you see him jogging to first base on a routine ground ball, we're okay with it. When there's a double in the gap and he's at first base and he goes from first to third, we're okay with it, And today he's not starting. Obviously, day off tomorrow. Hopefully we can, stay away from him tonight. And from Friday on, he's a full go. So he's in a good spot. He's getting putting better at bats as of late, and he's ready.
So one of the things that you seem pretty consistent with in talking to us about your job as a manager is sort of that short and long-term approach, whether it's with a guy like Crochet or a young player, whatever it may be. So I think it's safe to say you don't take that Bill Belichick one game at a time mentality. You need to look at some bigger picture items. Do you set little window parameters? Like, for example, we said you guys would be good if you go 6-6 out of the break in these 12 games. Do you break the schedule up into little challenging little pieces like that?
Yeah, it'll be good to get home 2-4, to be honest with you. We were hoping to go 500. That's not the case now. So still in a game here in Philly. It's an okay trip in tough 2 cities, right? And then you start looking at the standings and all that stuff. I think it's too early for that, but it's not, right? And hopefully we can gain some ground tonight. Like I said, tomorrow is the off day, and then we play 3 at home against another tough opponent, win that series, go to Minnesota, win that series again. But, I have a pretty good idea where we at, what we're trying to accomplish. At one point it's a full go with everybody. I bet today with the lineup that we're going to throw out there, people are going to be going crazy in Boston, but that's part of 162, and we have to take care of players.
So what's that lineup that's going to drive everybody crazy?
We got Willie in right. We got Duran in center. We got Ref in left field. We got Marcelo at third base, Story at second, Sedan at second base, Romy at first, and Narvaez. We got a few lefties out there against a tough one, but this is where we at. We have to take care of Alex. It's very important for us. moving forward. So there's a few lefties out there.
All right, and last before we let you go, I got to ask you, you told us before the break you were going to see Coldplay. Did you know you would be part of one of the most viral moments in the history of the world when you went to that concert?
Never in my life. Never in my life. And I think Chris Martin killed it right away. You know, he didn't hesitate when he said, either you guys are having an affair or you guys are very shy. That was freaking outstanding.
Who would have ever thought that moment would outshine seeing one of the greatest bands of all time?
I know, right? But it was a great concert. You know, good venue. We had fun with our friends, and, you know, we'll do it again.
All right, thanks, Alex. Good luck today, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Alex.